Yeah, Robert. Yeah, yeah. Have a shot. Yeah, take a shot. Down to the bottom right. Yeah, good man. How's it going, folks? Welcome back to the channel. It's time for the call with Enda Coll. It's the first time I'm doing this show. My channel has been called The Call with Enda Coll for about a year. Then I changed it to Breakdown Inc. This is the first time I'm doing this show. It's where I'm going to be talking about things that aren't necessarily to do with Celtic. Now, I know what you're thinking. You came to me for Celtic stuff. There will be Celtic stuff sometimes, but this week in particular, there's not going to be Celtic stuff. I'm going to take a story from the week of football and pick it apart and give my quote-unquote call on the topic. This week is not about Celtic. It's about Julian Nagelsmann. Let's get into it. So as always, if you are new to the channel or if you're a regular watcher, hit the subscribe button below. It helps the channel grow, and there's loads of stuff like the call with Enda Coll coming up over the next couple of weeks. Do get involved in the comments below. This is a show that is going to live or die off comments and people getting involved, and let me know what you actually think of the story. So do get involved in the comments below and let me know what you think of this topic. So let's talk about Julian Nagelsmann and what he's been saying about the NFL. So Julian Nagelsmann wants football to have a revolution like the NFL did. He said that football needs to stop hiding behind tradition. It has to revolutionize itself. American football is much more technologically advanced than football. The quarterback has an earpiece to listen to the coach. We absolutely need something like that. He also believes that footballers would benefit from that in a game. As a football coach, he said you can achieve a great deal with something like that. And he also goes on to say that there's too much noise in football stadiums and that he wants to have timeouts because halftime is the only time that he gets to talk to his players in the middle of a football match. So let's pick that apart and see what that would actually look like. So I got my props out to demonstrate what Julian Nagelsmann, the manager of Bayern Munich, might look like if he has an earpiece talking to, say, Robert Lewandowski. Yeah, Robert. Yeah. Have a shot. Yeah, take a shot. Down to the bottom right. Yeah, good man. Okay, that might be a little bit dramatic, but that's essentially what he's going to be doing. How can you talk to professional footballers on the pitch? Firstly, let's talk about the practicality of that. Where are you putting the mics? How are the mics going to be in? Where are the wires going to go? The handy thing about a helmet is that you can easily put a delicate piece of software and hardware into it, like a microphone and an earpiece, and it wouldn't fall out or break. In my years of watching football, I don't think I remember any footballers wearing helmets like they do in the NFL, where you can handily put a mic and an earpiece in and it won't fall out. And, you know, I just don't remember it. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody in the comments can let me know the last time someone wore a helmet. Not a rugby one. Don't get smart. An actual hard helmet that's going to protect the mic. So that's one issue that you might see with this sort of thing. The second thing is, right, let's take the NFL example. They have set plays, the offense, the defense. You can manage them. Each play is different. You have playbooks. You change it around every play. You have time to set it up. In football, you don't. And you don't really have set plays. I know there is tactics, there's movement, there's specific ways that you're supposed to run, there's specific channels you're supposed to go to. But he is essentially just going to have to tell these players what to do. And I just don't think that Julian Nagelsmann is in any position to really tell Lewandowski where to put the ball in the net when it's him that's going to be able to do it. He's done it fantastically over the last couple of years throughout his career. So I just don't understand where he sees the benefits coming from here, unless he wants to move even further and take each set play, every time the ball goes dead in football, that you reset and have a new set play, and then you can have your playbooks like that. I just don't understand what he would actually achieve from having these players mic'd up. Another issue is that, are these players going to want to be mic'd up? Are these players really going to want to listen to their manager in their ear the entire time, speaking to him, coaching them through the game? These players are professional footballers. I think they know what they're doing to a certain extent once they get onto the pitch. This is a control thing from Julian Nagelsmann. He wants to control every single thing that these players do. And don't get me wrong, Julian Nagelsmann is a brilliant coach. He is in his position at Bayern Munich at such a young age for a reason, because he's a revolutionary coach. He wants to change the game. He wants to improve the game. But I just think he's being a little bit fanciful here. He wants to control too many aspects of the game. I'll get to the timeout now in a second, but the last thing I want to touch on is his discussion around the tradition of football. The tradition of football is why all of us love football. Like, if we want to be the NFL, we'll support the NFL, we'll watch the NFL. But the reason that football is different to the NFL is for these exact reasons, because it is different. It has tradition. It is steeped in tradition, and the tradition makes it, a fun game to watch. These are the things that you want to, hold on to. You don't want to destroy the tradition. You don't want to, just throw the past away as if it never happened. You have to learn from it, yes. If there's a better way of doing it, yes. But tradition becomes tradition for a reason, There's a reason that grandfathers pass their tickets down to their sons and to their grandsons, and there's a reason that this tradition stays alive, because people quite enjoy it. And the freedom that footballers have when they're on the pitch, ultimately it comes down to them. It does not come down to the manager. That is the separation between the NFL and the football world, because you can have Pep Guardiola, you can have Jurgen Klopp, all these people, fantastic managers. But the separation is, once the players go out in the pitch, it is absolutely up to them to get it right. It's up to them to perform. It's up to them to create moments of genius. And you can coach them, you can train them, you can get the tactics right, you can fix the team up brilliantly. That all makes sense. But ultimately, Lewandowski is Lewandowski because of the player he is, not because of all the coaching that he's received. Yes, that has helped. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the coaching doesn't matter. It matters a huge amount. What I'm saying is, he creates moments of magic himself. The manager does not do that. And I think that's the key issue here with Julian Nagelsmann. He wants more of the credit. That's essentially where I see it. In terms of the timeouts, we've already had timeouts in football, the water breaks during COVID, and they were just a pointless waste of time. Everyone just got slowed down. The game got slowed down, and it just breaks the game up needlessly for no reason. Could there potentially be a stage where we get to quarters as opposed to a half? I do see that potentially coming into football at some stage. Not particularly a fan of that idea, but I do think it is something that could potentially happen. I just don't see where Nagelsmann is coming from here in terms of the NFL things. There's loads of things that the football world can learn from the NFL that would be a much better idea. The red zone, for example, would be an absolutely fantastic job in broadcasting for football. Broadcasting and refereeing, mic the referees up before you mic the players up, for God's sake. If the fans can't hear the decisions that the referees are making, why do we need to hear what the players are making? Maybe it's just for the coaches to hear, but even still, shout your tactics on. I mean, let's say, for example, we'll just use the Bayern Munich example for one stage. Let's say it is Lewandowski that's mic'd up, just for example. Is it going to be him and all the Bayern Munich players, or is it just going to be him? Because if it's him and all the Bayern Munich players, it solves somewhat of an issue, but it also could cause quite a lot of confusion if you're talking to one player while another player has the ball. He's probably not going to want to hear you talking shit to him. Secondly, if you have one player and not the entire squad, that player's going to have to tell the other players anyway. So if it's a tactical change, the other players on the pitch, the opposition are going to hear. And thirdly, I'm a firm believer of coaches getting their job done before the game actually starts. So there was a coach, I can't remember who it was, that said, he doesn't shout during the game, because if he shouts during the game, what's the point? He has failed in his job to prepare the team the best to his ability before the game. So he hasn't done his job during the week. If he has done his job during the week, he shouldn't have to shout at them on the pitch, unless they're just, the players are moping around and not doing their jobs. So there's a lot of aspects to this that I disagree with Julian Nagelsmann, and I just think he wants control of the players. He wants to be the center of attention. He wants to get more of the credit as the coach. And I disagree strongly with it. What do you think? What do you think of Julian Nagelsmann's comments? Do you think the NFL has anything to learn from football? Do you think the football can learn anything from NFL? Let me know in the comments below. And again, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You'll get notified every time a podcast goes live. This was the first ever, the debut of The Call with Enda Coll, even though my channel was called that for about a year. Thanks for watching. We'll chat to you later.